Something deep inside you already sensed why this message found you. Even before a single word was said, before your eyes ever landed on this moment, quiet knowing stirred somewhere in your chest. Not everybody will feel that stirring. Most people will scroll right past without noticing anything unusual. But you didn't scroll away. And that one simple fact tells you something meaningful. Your awareness is already operating on a different level. Your spirit was being readied for this moment long before today ever arrived. Because what you are hearing right now is not some random coincidence, not just everyday motivation, not ordinary words filling a screen. This is a signal, and it is meant for those who have been quietly waiting, sometimes without even realizing it, for the moment when a hidden door finally begins to open. Stay with me all the way to the end of this message. When you do, drop your warmest wishes in the comments and write the number 99. Because the words you put out carry real energy, and whatever you release right now will find its way back to you. And if this message feels like it belongs to you, stay connected to this space so you never miss what follows. You have probably carried this feeling for years without fully making sense of it. That strange, unsettling sense that your life has been on pause, as though something bigger was quietly being arranged behind the curtain. Moments where you looked around and wondered why everything seemed to be moving slowly for you, while other people seemed to glide forward without struggling. But here is the hidden truth that most people will never grasp. Delay is often the fingerprint of divine timing. When something carries real weight in your destiny, it simply cannot be hurried. It has to be lined up with forces that run deeper than everyday time. This is why the ancient scripture quietly speaks something mysterious in Ecclesiastes 3:1, saying that to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Most people read that as beautiful poetry and move on. But the chosen feel its deeper vibration, because your life has not been a series of random steps. It has been a process of preparation. Look carefully at your own story. The hardships that molded you, the isolation that pushed you to look inward, the unusual awareness you developed while others stayed completely asleep to deeper questions. Every single piece of that was doing something inside your body that most people cannot see. Your brain was reorganizing itself under pressure. Your spine was learning to carry emotional weight without breaking down. Your breathing was developing patience during seasons when absolutely nothing seemed to be shifting. These are not accidents. These are initiations. Most people try to find transformation by chasing things happening outside of them. But the chosen go through an entirely different process. The change starts inside the nervous system itself. When enough pressure builds in the mind over a long enough period of time, the brain begins sending new electrical patterns down through the spine. The heart rate adjusts. The breath grows deeper. The blood begins carrying different chemical signals. And slowly, the body becomes capable of holding a higher level of awareness. This is exactly why some of you have been noticing unusual sensations over recent months. Moments where your chest feels heavier or strangely warm. Moments where your thinking suddenly becomes sharp and unusually clear. Moments where silence feels more powerful than any sound around you. These are quiet signs that your internal frequency is beginning to shift. But again, most people will never understand this. The majority are taught to believe that awareness only comes through gathering information. They collect books, store up theories, and repeat motivational ideas. But true awakening always begins in the body first. The brain, the spine, the breath, and the heart must come into alignment before the mind can hold deeper truth. And this is where the path of the chosen separates completely from the ordinary path. Because what is happening to you right now is not just inspiration. It is activation. There is a specific reason why so many of you have sensed something approaching, an invisible turning point that you could not quite describe with logic. Yet that feeling stayed with you, a deep sense that your life was standing right at the edge of something entirely new. That feeling did not come from your imagination. It came from the same internal system that ancient mystics called the inner compass. The body recognizes when destiny is shifting. And when the moment finally arrives, the nervous system starts sending signals well before any external change becomes visible to the eye. This is exactly why this message is being called a notice. Not a guarantee, not a forecast, a notice. The shift has already started. But before the outside world can reflect it, something must happen within you first. A realignment that ancient traditions once guarded very carefully. Tonight, try something simple yet genuinely powerful. This is the first sacred process in this transmission. Find somewhere quiet to sit. Rest one hand over your heart and place the other just below your ribs. Close your eyes and breathe slowly through your nose. As you breathe in, picture the breath moving from your brain downward through your spine. As you breathe out, feel that breath spreading through your chest like a gentle warm glow. Do this for 9 slow breaths. 9 is not chosen randomly. In many ancient traditions, 9 represents completion just before transformation, a cycle drawing to a close just before the next one begins. When you breathe in this way, the brain, the spine, and the heart begin to move into sync. And when that synchronization happens, your perception becomes sharper. You start noticing things that others completely miss. Signals, patterns, openings. This is why the chosen so often recognize their moment before anyone around them does. And if you are feeling a strange calmness right now while taking this in, if something inside you feels both quietly nervous and quietly excited at the same time, that is not confusion. That is recognition. Because somewhere deep within, you already know something the world has not yet seen. Your time was never truly lost. Your time was being carefully prepared. And now the signs are beginning to surface. Chosen one, before you go any further, pause for just a moment and turn your attention inward. Not to the noise surrounding you, not to what is happening outside, but to what is happening inside you right now. There is a quiet shift taking place that most people would miss entirely. A subtle clarity beginning to form just behind your thoughts. It is the kind of stillness that only shows up when the mind starts moving into alignment with something far deeper than ordinary awareness. This is why not everyone can remain with this message. Many people will feel uneasy and walk away, because when truth moves toward the nervous system, it brings everything that was buried in the mind right to the surface. But you stayed. And that says something important about who you truly are. The majority of people spend their entire lives simply reacting to the world around them. They wake up responding to pressure, fear, comparison, and distraction every single day. Their thoughts are shaped by what others expect of them. But the chosen function differently. Your awareness was trained through long seasons of silence, confusion, and inner searching. Those difficult periods were not. There is a reason the ancient scripture says in Isaiah 61, "Arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you." Most people receive this as symbolic encouragement and leave it at that. But those who have traveled the road of inner transformation understand its hidden layer. Light in this context is not just spiritual language. It stands for awareness, for conscious perception. It describes the moment when a person's inner vision becomes stronger than the illusions that have been surrounding them. This is the moment when many chosen ones begin to feel something unfamiliar moving in their body. A heightened sensitivity to energy. A stronger intuition quietly steering their decisions. Sometimes even a strange feeling that time itself is moving differently than before. Hours seem shorter. Days feel more purposeful. Certain encounters and events start feeling destined rather than accidental. This happens because your internal frequency has begun to change. Inside your brain, billions of neurons are constantly communicating through electrical signals. When someone spends years moving through pressure, deep reflection, and emotional growth, those signals begin to reorganize themselves. New patterns form. Old limitations start to dissolve. The brain begins sending entirely different instructions down through the spine and into the rest of the body. Your breathing rhythm shifts. Your posture adjusts. Even the way your heart moves blood through your body becomes slightly different than before. This is why ancient mystics always referred to the spine as a sacred channel. The spine is not simply structural support for the physical body. It is the pathway through which the brain communicates with every organ, every muscle, and every sensation you experience. When your awareness rises, the spine begins functioning like an antenna, both receiving and transmitting signals of perception. Most people never discover this. They keep searching for answers in the world outside, while completely ignoring the guidance system already built inside their own body. But the chosen eventually uncover something that the masses continue to overlook. Transformation is just as biological as it is spiritual. And this is precisely why your moment has now arrived. Not through luck, not through coincidence, but because the internal structure of your mind and body is now ready to hold what comes next. There is something else that must be understood. However, when the moment of alignment draws near, the outside world often becomes temporarily confusing. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. Old situations begin falling apart. Certain people quietly drift out of your life without any clear explanation. It can feel as though your entire life is rearranging itself without asking your permission first. This is not chaos. This is recalibration. Picture a compass that has been slowly turning for years, constantly searching for true north. The moment it finally locks in, the needle snaps into position with force. That sudden movement can feel dramatic, but it only means the system has discovered its direction. You are moving through something very similar right now. The signs may be quiet, but they are very real. Perhaps you feel a stronger need to guard your energy. Perhaps conversations that once held your attention now feel hollow. Perhaps your thoughts keep circling back to the same quiet realization. Something in your life is changing. You are not creating that feeling in your mind. This stage has been described across spiritual traditions for centuries. It is the phase where preparation finishes and recognition begins. The chosen starts to see the difference between movement and destiny, between noise and signal. And this is where the second sacred process becomes essential. Tonight or tomorrow morning, find a few minutes where you can be completely alone. Sit upright so that your spine is straight. Place both feet flat and firm on the ground. Close your eyes and breathe slowly and deeply through your nose. As you inhale, picture drawing light upward from the base of your spine all the way to the center of your brain. As you exhale, picture that light expanding through your chest and settling around your heart. Continue this pattern for 12 full breaths. While you do this, repeat quietly in your mind, not out loud, not with any force, just gently, the words, "My time is aligned. What this does is beautifully simple, yet deeply effective. It teaches your brain and your nervous system to connect calm awareness with the arrival of your moment. When the brain accepts this connection, your perception sharpens even further. You begin noticing doors appearing in places that once looked like solid walls. Many people never arrive at this stage because they stop listening before the message reaches its clearest point. But you did not stop. You stayed. And because you stayed, something important must be said directly to you now. Your time did not suddenly show up today. Your time has been moving steadily toward you for years. Every difficulty that built your mental strength, every lonely moment that turned your attention inward, every delay that made you question your direction, all of it was quietly gathering toward the same single point. This point. And if you pay close attention to your own breath right now, if you feel the rhythm your heart is keeping, you may begin to understand something that most of the world still cannot see. The door you have been waiting in front of is already beginning to open. Chosen one, if you have made it to this moment, then you have already done something that most people will never do. You stayed, not because anyone told you to, but because something inside you recognized the signal. That quiet inner pull you felt while moving through these words was not your imagination running loose. It was recognition, the same recognition that has followed you throughout your entire life, appearing quietly whenever truth came close to you, almost invisibly. Many people spend their whole lives searching for meaning without ever realizing that meaning has been searching for them all along. But the chosen eventually arrives at a deeper understanding. Destiny does not announce itself loudly. Destiny whispers. And you heard the whisper. Reflect for a moment. Not on yesterday and not even on last year, but on the earlier chapters of your story. The times when you felt like nobody truly understood you. The seasons when everyone else seemed to have a clear path mapped out while you were still quietly trying to find yours. Those moments were not wasted time. They were the furnace that sharpened your perception. When pressure wraps around a person long enough, it begins reshaping the internal structure of the mind. The brain adapts. The nervous system grows stronger. The breath deepens. The heart learns to stay steady even when everything around it feels uncertain. This is why the chosen so often arrive at their defining moment through a completely different route than the rest of the world. Most people construct their identity through external achievement. They measure their progress through recognition, status, and the approval of others. But the chosen are shaped from the inside out first. Your strength was built in silence. Your awareness expanded during solitude. And your ability to recognize deeper patterns was refined during seasons when people around you believed nothing significant was happening in your life. But something was absolutely happening, quietly, inside your brain. Every single experience was reorganizing your perception piece by piece. Neural pathways were becoming stronger. Emotional endurance was growing wider. Your spine carried tension that slowly converted into resilience. Even your breathing patterns evolved as your mind learned the practice of patience. The body does not forget any of this. Every moment of genuine growth becomes written into the nervous system. This is why, when the appointed time finally arrives, the chosen feel it instantly. Something inside recognizes the shift before it ever becomes visible in the world outside. This deeper truth is hinted at in Habakkuk 2:3, which says that the vision is for an appointed time, and though it may seem slow, it will surely come. Most people hear that verse, you may already be noticing small signals of this alignment moving into your life. Conversations that suddenly lead somewhere genuinely meaningful. ideas arriving in your mind with an unusual sense of clarity, a growing sense of direction that you find difficult to fully explain to the people around you. These signals are subtle, but they are absolutely real. They are the early signs that the path ahead is beginning to unfold right in front of you. There is something the chosen must hold on to during this stage. However, when your moment arrives, not everyone will understand what is happening. Some people will challenge your choices. Others will misread the changes unfolding in your life. This is completely natural. Those who have not walked the same road cannot always recognize where it leads. But that does not weaken the truth of your journey in any way. You were never designed to move exactly like everyone else. Your timing was different because your purpose required deeper preparation. And now that preparation is drawing to a close, before this transmission ends, there is one final sacred process to share with you. It is simple, yet it brings the body and the mind into alignment with the moment you have been waiting for. Find a quiet space and stand still for a moment. Keep your spine straight but relaxed and at ease. Place both hands gently at the center of your chest, right where your heart is beating. Close your eyes. Draw a slow breath in through your nose and hold it gently for 3 seconds. While holding the breath, picture a soft light forming quietly at the center of your chest. Not a blazing light, just a calm and steady glow. Then release the breath slowly and picture that light spreading outward through your entire body, moving into your shoulders, down your spine, through your arms, filling your whole presence. Repeat this for 7 complete breaths. 7 has symbolized completion and renewal across countless traditions throughout history. When you move through this breathing pattern, the heart rate slows, the brain grows quiet, and the nervous system settles into a state of clarity. This is the state where intuition becomes more powerful than fear. And when intuition rises above fear, the chosen begin moving forward with genuine confidence. Not arrogance, not force, just a quiet and unshakable certainty. Because somewhere deep inside, you already understand something that the rest of the world may only come to realize much later. Your life was never random. Your struggles were never pointless. Your season of waiting was never wasted. It was preparation for alignment. And alignment has its own way of making itself known at exactly the right moment it was always meant to. So if something inside you feels settled right now, if you can sense that quiet confidence slowly rising in your chest, hold on to that feeling and do not let it go. That is the signal. Your time did not simply appear out of nowhere today. Your time has been moving toward you steadily for years. And now, chosen one, you are finally standing at the exact moment where everything begins.